next time on Philosophy Talk.
And you cook and so make flowers grow.
Listen to Philosophy Talk every Tuesday at noon on KSJE 90.9 FM, Farmington. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, here to meet your urgent and emergent medical needs, whether they are COVID-19 related or not. Medical emergencies happen when you least expect them. Whether it's a stroke, heart attack, illness, or injury, San Juan Regional Medical Center's caregivers are here to provide care to you and your loved ones. Find out more online at sanjuanregional.com.
Ten minutes past 8 o'clock. It is Monday morning, August the 17th. Good morning, everybody. I'm Scott Micklin. Thank you for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM over the air here in San Juan County, 103.3 FM over the air in the Durango, Colorado area, and of course everywhere streaming from our website at ksje.com. Welcome also to our viewers who are watching this visual radio program streaming live to the KSJE YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Welcome aboard, everyone. We're glad that you are with us. Coming up this morning, we're talking about San Juan College, specifically the San Juan College Community Learning Center and ENCORE program. I'll be speaking with Liesl Dees in the next few moments, so stay tuned for that. Coming up right here on KSJE. Later on this hour at 8:50 a.m., Lewis Campbell will be joining me as we talk technology. It is our weekly technology segment called Monday Reboot, 8:50 a.m. on KSJE, so stay tuned. Coming up later on this hour. At 9 a.m., Megan Cullip will join me here in Studio A for our local community information program about COVID-19. Today, our topic is special education, talking with folks from the Farmington schools, and also we're going to also be speaking about performing arts. The San Juan Symphony has announced how they are going to be dealing with their performance season in this year of COVID-19. We'll be speaking with music director Thomas Heuser also on the program. It all starts live on YouTube and Facebook this morning at 9. A rebroadcast, of course, on the radio this afternoon at 5:06 p.m. on KSJE. Mick Hess, in the meantime, at 9 will take us roving with the arts on the radio. And then, of course, we also invite you to connect with us on our other social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram as well. Let's talk about the weather briefly. Today it's going to be sunny and hot, but we could see some increasing clouds. There is some moisture in the air. Today's high 96 in Farmington, and maybe a scattered shower or thunderstorm popping up this afternoon. 64 overnight tonight, and then tomorrow drier weather, hot, high 97 on Tuesday, 64 overnight, mostly sunny on Wednesday, the high 99, 98 with sunshine on Thursday, and partly sunny skies on Friday with a high again of 98 degrees, and maybe some scattered showers in the forecast for Saturday and Sunday, but highs are still in the mid-90s. Well, let me turn to my guest who is here with us this morning through the miracle of Zoom. Liesl Dees is here joining us live this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott. Great to be with you.
Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. And of course, in this strange year, some things continue, like me talking to you and the college offering great community learning classes and ENCORE classes and great enrichment classes and all the things that you and I usually get to talk about, which is great.
That's exactly right. And Scott, I'm really glad that we could do this through Zoom for a couple of reasons. One, I'm in my home office because I'm still working from home, as are many San Juan College employees.
Right.
And two, this is how we are delivering a lot of classes. So, if we run into any hiccups on today's show, those might happen in a class. But, we're all getting pretty good at doing this. And this is exactly how students can interact with their teachers.
Very true. Well, very true. And it's great to see you there at home, and you look very comfortable. And I know you've been very productive since you've been working from home. So
I have. Coffee.
So this is great. And so again, as usual in the fall, that we talk about some of the offerings for ENCORE and the Community Learning Center. And so that is still the same this year. That hasn't changed at all, right?
Exactly. So this is our schedule of continuing education. And we have a theme this year that picks up on something the college did back in the spring. And that was a message of together we can do this. For all of our classes, And this schedule, Scott, was a little crazy to build. I actually built it back in April when we naively thought this was, maybe just a little more than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We would be in this new world. And then, by July, we kind of said, you know what? We don't know exactly what size limits are going to be on classes. We don't know if we're going to have any face-to-face classes. But we have a unprecedented number of online classes in our schedule, and that is what we would love to see students enrolling in right now.
Very good. And so again, because of the world that we're in, students can enroll and enjoy these classes from the comfort of their very own home this year, it sounds like, and they can have their favorite beverage, coffee, whatever, standing by and sign up for these classes, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Scott, I'm going to kind of say this at the beginning because, we don't know what requirements are going to continue to be. We do have some classes that we can run with 4 students and an instructor and stay under the current mass gathering limit of 5. And so we are looking at doing a couple of things like mountain biking skills and learn to fly fish in early September. So we will continue to keep evaluating those face-to-face classes. At this point, we are not running any ENCORE classes face-to-face because we can't keep those under the limits that we need to be under. But, we know that there are some things that we might have a chance of running. So, for example, pickleball is happening at the Health and Human Performance Center these days. People are going in and playing pickleball. We're not starting our pickleball class yet, but we want to kind of keep our eye on how, say, group exercise regulations are as part of gym openings with the state.
Sure.
So we're keeping our eye on these the state state guidelines, state rules, the public health orders, and we will be following everything, and figuring out what this looks like. And, it's a little complicated in terms of higher ed. There's a 3-page document of kind of how to implement guidelines, and the college is working to follow that.
Very good. Well, and I know, as the governor says, she is very fond of her CSPs, those COVID-safe practices, and that's what you have put into this course as well, right? To the catalog of how to offer these things. If they're not remotely, then you can offer them in smaller numbers, maybe some face-to-face, but with masks and distancing and all those other things that are recommended, and you just follow those as they come down from Santa Fe, right?
Exactly. And students should expect for any face-to-face class that we do offer that we will be following COVID-safe practices. And that is all on San Juan College's website. You'll see pages of frequently asked questions of kind of what are we doing. And that does involve, of course, wearing masks. That does involve something's clicking on my computer after I thought I had everything closed.
Oh, that's all right.
So it does involve wearing masks. It does involve being 6 feet apart, and it does involve that spaces will be cleaned on a regular basis.
Right.
And small group size would be the other item on that. Also, contact tracing that students should expect at San Juan College, including our classes, that if someone tests positive, that contact tracing will go into effect. So people are expected to report positive cases, and that people will be notified, following privacy regulations, but the same process that's happening in other places will be happening at the college.
Sure. Well, that makes total sense to me. So there you go. So as we start talking, Liesl, Dees, tell me about, again, for folks that take a class every fall, or 1 or 2 or 5, and have their favorite types of classes to take, whether it's history or activities or whatever, those types of things are still being offered, albeit maybe in a little bit different format, correct?
That's exactly right. And one of the things that we're hearing right now is from students who are really hanging on, waiting to see if their favorite classes are going to make face-to-face, and they don't want to enroll in classes online yet. And none of us knows kind of how regulations are going to change in the next month or so, but we all want to be safe. And one of the safest things that we can do is embrace online learning. And we've got a lot of things online, like an art at home class that starts this Wednesday. And so it's going to be a group of people wanting to do art together, and the instructor has assignments planned out for each week. And then you'll have one time that you're coming online together, and then an additional kind of touch base time in the week. So exciting, fun activities that are planned, and that the instructor on that is Lori Miller. Or we have a exercising at home. We have both a at-home fitness, and we have a yoga at home class. And actually, the yoga at home class starts today. And then we have a second yoga class starting next week that is a Your Yoga Toolkit class, in which you're kind of expanding your own yoga home practice.
Interesting. Okay. And so we can sign up for all those things and get ready to go. And you can do that again online. Obviously, everything is online now. You've been able to move everything online, correct?
Well, not everything is online. We do have some of those face-to-face classes scheduled that I mentioned. And Scott, what we ended up doing last spring is a lot of the things that we had scheduled for the spring that we had students already registered for, we rolled over into the fall. We don't know which of those we will be able to run. Like pickleball is a great example. It's
right.
Always a popular class. And we have classes scheduled both at main campus, and we have connected with the Farmington Recreation Center and scheduled classes there. But nothing can happen until we have permissions to do so. So you can call and get in on those classes, or you can just continue to stay on top of where we are in terms of mass gathering size. That's really the key number for us.
Okay.
Decisions.
And again, we are going to the website, which has all the classes kind of categorized, and folks can kind of scroll around and browse through them, right? It's sanjuancollege.edu/CLC is the right place to go.
Exactly. You can either go to /CLC or /ENCORE. And Scott, I am sharing my screen right now.
We can actually see it.
Okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. So I've clicked on View Class Descriptions. And there are a lot of things that we've scheduled that we're kind of in we think we can do this mode with. So, for example, our classes at the Makerspace, these are classes that we can run with 4 students in them. So a basic 3D printing, a vinyl t-shirt design, a laser engraver and cutter, and a woodcraft basics, and a drones.
Nice.
And we're missing a date on that last one. So we will be, staying on top of the state requirements. If it were today, we would be able to run, say, the basic 3D printing class. It's just a one evening class for 3 hours. And we're excited to offer things like that to our community.
Very good.
We've got
Liesl, I was just going to ask you if you got, let's say, maybe you had 8 people sign up for one of these classes, if that'd be even possible, then could you offer that on a second day with 4 people in 2 classes? Is that possible?
Yeah, we do that sort of thing all the time with our classes. If we get a wait list, we will see if we have enough to then do a second section of the class. What's a little bit tricky for us on this is running with low numbers. We need to be making judicious class decisions so that we can still pay our instructors, and that we are not operating in the red with our class decisions.
Sure. Well, and keeping
kind of where numbers play in. But
Understood.
We'd love to schedule a second class. And what we have tried to do, and we're guessing on some of this because we don't know what numbers will be when the mass gathering size does go up. If it does, or if we stay this, or if we get some different guidance on how we should be making these decisions, then we'll alter that. But those classes like mountain biking basics, we actually had 4 students enrolled in that already from the spring. So right now it's a full class.
Okay.
There's a decent chance that someone in March who is planning to take this class may say, something's changed in my life, right? I moved. Right. Something is different. now. And so we would encourage people to call and get on a waiting list if they are interested in a class and we tell them that it's full right now.
Okay.
Learning to fly fish would be another example where we need 2 more students to make that class run. So but we would love to see more enrollment in that for early September.
Very good. And again, the number to call, Liesl Dees, I probably should have it memorized, but I know you do.
I do. 505-566-3214. And staff is in the office 3 days a week right now. So sometimes you may catch someone answering that phone working from their home office, like me, or you may get them where they have the credit card machine handy and they can run it right then. So we're doing a lot of calling back and making sure that we are running people's financial information appropriately, making sure that we are doing that at the office and running credit card information there.
Very good. I'm looking at our Facebook page, and we have a question from a Tai Chi fan. Is a Tai Chi class part of your offerings for the fall?
So we do have Tai Chi classes. Those would be in the category of ones that we are not cleared to run yet.
Okay.
It gets really interesting when I'm trying to make decisions that kind of can apply to other classes. And when we built the schedule, I kind of did okay, let's just think about everything we can in here. So for example, we have an intermediate Tai Chi class, and then we have a Taoist circle walking class, and that's on page 21 and 22, if anyone's playing along at home with the schedule.
Okay.
And these are ones that we said class may meet outside if weather permits. That's a good activity that is often done outside.
Right.
So we may be doing that, but we are not cleared to run those yet because group exercise classes aren't cleared to run yet.
Okay. And this
great question. And
Sure.
That's exactly the kind of thing that we're taking a lot of questions in the office on. So love to see people asking those.
I'm sure. My guest this morning, Liesl Dees, is here with us from the San Juan College Community Learning Center and ENCORE program. And so I know every season, it seems, you have some new classes. Is there some new things you can point out for us from the catalog this time around?
We do. And, we try not to get too crazy about new classes this time because it's hard to know what's going to run. In our new category are a lot of our at-home classes, like the Your Yoga Toolkit or your at-home fitness. We did a dance at home class that I'm excited about. We don't know yet if we can offer the salsa and the ballroom dancing classes that are listed in the schedule, but we do know that right now we can dance at home. So we've got a class scheduled for that. On the ENCORE side, some of the classes that we thought would work really well online were topical reading related classes. So we've got a reading World War II class, a reading migration class, and a sociological reading class. We know that a lot of our students love books, love learning, obviously, and that's what we do.
Right.
The idea of these classes is that the instructor is bringing her knowledge to this topic, and students are also bringing their interests. There will be some books that they read together as a group, and then bringing all your favorite World War II books that you would love to share with other people, and see how the themes in that book interact with other readings.
Very good. I think I was noticing, and I think this was an ENCORE class, but correct me if I'm wrong, that there's a class being offered on COVID-19, and I think it's Michelle Truby-Tillin from the San Juan County Office of Emergency Management who is teaching that class to talk a little bit about our local response to this pandemic.
Exactly. She called it Sociology of Disaster, analysis of the COVID-19 event in San Juan County. And Michelle brings an interesting perspective of both having worked in emergency management for 16 years, and she's completing her master's in sociology right now. So she's bringing those two disciplines together, emergency management and sociology, to have an intelligent discussion about how we respond to disasters and pandemics and things of that nature.
Right.
So very excited about that one. And that one is scheduled for as a face-to-face class, but what we said is that we will include options using Zoom. So,
Okay.
that one may be one that shifts entirely to Zoom, depending on what's appropriate. Another one, Scott, on that same page, if you've got a hard copy of this, is a One Book, One Community class. This
Right.
is a project that has happened for a number of years. And the idea behind it is that people in the community and in San Juan College classes read a shared book in a year. And so there are activities, usually there's an author's visit, things of that nature around one read. And the book this time is Crazy Brave by Joy Harjo. And Vicki Homestead, who's a retired English faculty, is going to lead this class. And very excited about what that will look like online, because they can connect to things that are happening around campus online and connect to the themes in the book relating to her creative works and a memoir from a Native American perspective.
Very cool. And I know there's a lot of events happening with and about Joy Harjo, as she is the One Book, One Community selected author this year. And so that is one of many things that are going to be going on. And so talk to me a little bit more about some of the other things that are happening as well, because I know you offer, in addition to the Community Learning Center classes, there's the ENCORE classes, of course. There's some business training classes and those types of things as well that are also located in the same area of the website, correct?
That's exactly right. And with that, we have other online classes that we have long partnered with an organization called Ed2Go to offer enrollment in other online classes. And so a lot of life skills classes that can fit in kind of the personal enrichment side of things. So things like discovering sign language or keyboarding, for example, working on your skills to type better, getting grammar refresher, an introduction to PC troubleshooting, instant Italian, beginning conversational French. And then also from Ed2Go, a lot of business topics like accounting fundamentals or 12 steps to a successful job search, computer skills for the workplace. Lots of different topics that if you've got a little time on your hands and are interested in learning more, love to see you enrolled in some of these classes. And all of our Center for Workforce Development classes have gone online for the fall. There are a few that will have a little bit of face-to-face interaction when necessary. So we have 2 academies that we run. One is a CompTIA Academy, and the other is a medical assistance program. And these are large, skill-oriented training programs, and there's often funding that can help with that, depending on kind of your situation as an employee. So if you are looking for a significant academy to develop new skills, love to talk to you about that. And the phone number on that is going to be 566-3214 if you want to enroll. If you want to get more detail on these, it's 566-3804. And that is our program specialist, Jeannie Winchell, and her direct line on that.
Okay, very good. And we just have a couple of minutes remaining this morning together at Liesl Dees, but I wanted to ask you maybe a bit, for some folks watching or listening to us this morning, this might be their first attempt at taking a class via Zoom or with technology and things like that. And I know for some folks it may seem a little intimidating if they've never done it before. But as you and I have proven this morning, if we can figure it out, anybody can figure it out. And so what would you say to folks who are maybe on the fence about maybe taking a class where they always take a class with ENCORE or CLC in person, but this whole idea of online is a little off-putting to them?
Exactly. So the first thing I would say is that you expect kind of a gentle approach, because we know that we're all learning this and we all make little glitches and things. So, for example, in the few classes that we've started already, people kind of had that initial trepidation, and kind of had okay, I couldn't find this. How do I get to this? And people helped them. Their fellow classmates helped them. Our staff helped them. And, having kind of okay, we can do this. Together we can do this kind of attitude. The second thing, Scott, and I love how you read my mind on this one, is that we just had a ENCORE monthly meeting on Zoom to help people see exactly what that looked like for people who've never been on Zoom before. And we're going to do it again, and we're going to do it for September, on September 9th as our monthly ENCORE brown bag. And it is going to be with an instructor actually from Michigan who has had years of experience teaching computer classes to older adults, and he has expanded his reach to do things around the nation. Same classes that he's been teaching face-to-face, he's teaching online, and he's going to teach some for us. So he's going to do a session on September 9th at 11:30 on how to use Zoom to take an online class. And then he's going to do a couple of other really basic computer classes. I think that we called the first one something like, help, I need to use my computer and the grandkids are busy this weekend. So, doing some things that are really geared to basic skills.
Right. Well, excellent. Well, obviously, you're one step ahead of me, as always, but that's good that you're doing some of these things for folks. And I have to say, too, for folks who've maybe been at home and haven't been really social interacting, because we're not supposed to be doing that, and but seeing a lot of friendly faces on a Zoom screen is pretty nice to see these days. And I have to say it's a great therapeutic thing, even for me, when I get on a group call or a meeting or a committee or whatever the case may be, just to see my coworkers and colleagues and all their smiling faces on a Zoom page is really a nice thing. And so I would say for the same effect on a class with the CLC or ENCORE, it would be the same type of effect.
That's exactly right, Scott. And I would add to that we know that our classes are about enrichment. And I believe that is more important than ever right now. The power of making art, the power of making music, getting physically active, doing things to engage our brain. We all desperately need these in our lives right now. Our music faculty at the college has been very creative about how they're going to do ensembles this year. And even after we went to print, Virginia Nichols, who was our picture on the cover, she decided that choir was going to go fully online this time. And so she's kind of worked out a plan of how to engage with different sections and have like a lead soprano and a lead alto. Delbert Anderson has taken the ensembles of the jazz big band and the jazz combo, and he's making them smaller groups. So I'm signed up with jazz big band to play the piano for a smaller group that we will be meeting with just a couple of people and looking at how we can make music and then share that appropriately with our community following COVID safe practices.
Very good. Well, where there's a will, there's a way, as the saying goes, and you guys have figured it out, it sounds like. So they're available. The classes are starting in the next few weeks and kind of throughout the fall, correct?
They are. And Scott, I would say that we're still figuring it out. That there are some things that, you scratch your head a little and say, okay, are we ready to offer this kind of class yet? And making sure that our instructors get the training they need before we have anything face-to-face. And that we all know that we're going to be following the COVID safe practices. We have things starting right now, like the art at home class that starts on Wednesday, or the yoga class. And if you did not get a schedule in the mail and you can't find what you need online, we are happy to drop our schedule in the mail to you if you call 505-566-3214 and give us your address, and we will get that sent out to you.
Okay, very good. And of course, it's also online at sanjuancollege.edu/CLC. Folks can kind of go through it there, but if they want that thing to have and to hold in their fingers, they can have it sent to them.
Exactly. And I do want to say that for our ENCORE classes, we do have some scholarships available. So if price is an issue right now, but you desperately need that enrichment in your life, we would love to help you with that.
Okay, great to know. You make it affordable for everybody, and the prices are great, but the scholarships are even better. So that's wonderful news. Liesl, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Please continue to stay safe, and we'll keep in touch.
Scott, it's a pleasure to talk with you. Take care.
All right, you too. Thank you so much. That is Liesl Dees, of course, the director of the San Juan College Community Learning Center and ENCORE program, my guest here on KSJE. Back with more in just a moment, everyone. The time right now is 8:40.
Foreign disinformation in our election? That's so 2016. We've got bigger problems this time around. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace Tech. I'm Kimberly Adams, in for Molly Wood.